There is a very large section of the community who are not comfortable with the sectarian, violent or structurally violent nature of politics in Northern Ireland, so they either don't vote, or look around for less sectarian options. It is this group that has been the main hope for moderates of all sides, the group whose growth is watched with interest and would identify themselves primarily as Northern Irish, rather than Irish or British. In the vanguard of this group is the Alliance Party, technically an unaligned party in the Northern Ireland Parliament, at the minute drawing the majority of its support and all of its MEPs from traditionally unionist constituencies. Logic dictated that, as the Alliance Party were non-aligned, they would leave its supporters free to decide for themselves on how they would vote in any referendum. Recently though, Naomi Long, their leader, surprised everyone by announcing that she believed that as a political party they would be giving direction to their supporters on the best evidenced choice for them in the referendum, obviously code for achieve her personal publicly stated ambition of rejoining the EU. This would be a titanic shift of policy for the Alliance Party in its founding principle, to go from non-aligned to align without a mandate, or consulting its supporters in the constitutional debate. Irrespective of the motive, to becoming aligned either as a nationalist or unionist would break the trust of the thousands of people who in some cases risked their lives to secure a better future for their children. In the following video clip, Naomi Long answers the question on alignment.
Can I just ask you finally about a conversation we had in the run-up to the election on The View. You were saying the Alliance Party will eventually have to take a position on the constitutional question. Has that conversation now begun within your party?
The conversation that is live in the party at the moment is a conversation about how we get Stormont restored. That is our priority, and we will be focused on that, and pretty much that. And only that for the foreseeable future, because we're not. I didn't suggest for a moment that we were going to take a position on the constitutional future of Northern Ireland right away. What I said was that at a point where there is a referendum being held, we will then decide whether or not we decide to campaign in that referendum or give people in the party a free vote. And if we decide to campaign, which I imagine we would simply because we're highly political people, but if we decided to campaign, we would then take a decision based on best evidence as to how we would do that.
Okay.
But it's not an urgent question, and certainly not the priority now. Getting Stormont working is our priority.
OK, we need to leave it there. Appreciate your time, Naomi Long. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
As you can see, not only was the announcement not followed up by questioning from the interviewer, but in subsequent days there was no press follow-up to establish if the Alliance Party plans to change its designation in Stormont, as implied by Naomi Long, their leader. There is also a distinct lack of consideration for the voters. Naomi Long talks as if it is only her and a select number of her cohorts that need to make the decision, expecting the voters to follow blindly along with anything she says, without having a say in the decision. It's worth remembering that voters have their say at elections. They don't need Alliance to give them a free vote. They already have it. Now that their supporters know that the Alliance Party is no longer committed to a non-aligned status, voters may not be so keen to come out to support Alliance at the next election. To claim their recommendation will be based purely on best evidence is an interesting spin, as even the dogs in the street know where they are going, but it does give them a fig leaf to hide behind for their largely unionist supporters, whom I assume the Alliance leaders believe are more interested in their links with Europe than the United Ireland issue. Unfortunately for them, it also gives them a number of serious problems in selling what looks like their preferred option, for the following reasons. 1. Northern Ireland will lose its £10 to £15 billion per year financial support grant if it leaves the UK, which currently equates to approximately £7,894.70 per year per citizen. This is a serious amount of support to lose. 2. Since the start of the Troubles, Northern Ireland has benefited from the profits of a successful London in the form of grants. The Republic of Ireland has also had massive benefits from a successful Berlin since joining the EU, but neither Berlin nor the EU have indicated that they will increase assistance if there was a unified Ireland. 3. The Irish government has also made it clear that they will not direct any financial aid to a Northern Ireland crippled by terrorism in the event of unification. 4. It is obviously better for Northern Ireland, if it has free access to both the EU and UK import and export markets, putting NI in a very competitive and attractive position for investors. If not aligned to any particular political ideology or religion, with only the interests of Northern Ireland citizens at heart, it is extremely difficult to understand why the Alliance Party are not supporting this campaign. 5. Northern Ireland is already part of the EU, thanks to the protocol, relegated to a colony status in EU. Northern Irish citizens also already have the ability to get an Irish passport to bypass EU travel restrictions. There is also the common travel area in the UK, so what economic benefits or otherwise would result from unification with the Republic, that we don't already have? 6. The Alliance Party joined with the SDLP and Sinn Féin to call for full implementation of the protocol, which was insane behaviour, for anyone other than a nationalist or Republican, who have a vested interest in damaging the NI economy. Northern Ireland was a successful economy prior to the campaign of bombing, murder and civil unrest, progressively deteriorated through the years of unrest until it is now a serious liability and financial drain to the UK, so this trade advantage could have been a major benefit to Northern Ireland citizens, and those Republic citizens close to the border. 7. All 25,000 UK and Northern Ireland civil service and some NHS jobs will eventually be lost, some immediately, some over time, if there was a positive vote for a united Ireland. Economies of scale will force centralisation of services. 8. Belfast will lose the pull factor and investment that being the capital of a country has. Dublin will benefit, as you can see from the nighttime satellite image. 9. On unification, Northern Ireland can expect the same level of investment and out-migration as Donegal currently suffers from, as just like them, NI will be on the outer fringe of the united Ireland. As you can see from the nighttime satellite image, Donegal and other outlying remote areas have become sparsely populated, as its young, industry, commerce and investment move closer to the main transport links and their supply chains. Northern Ireland, comparatively, has a healthy population spread around its main population areas and, as you can see from the map, is regenerating the border areas of Donegal as well. If nationalists and Republicans would leave their rose-tinted glasses aside, you don't need a crystal ball to see how Northern Ireland will look 25 years after unification. As things stand at the minute, just look at the satellite image, the population spread, road networks, industry distribution in Donegal, our closest neighbour, and the Republic of Ireland in its outer fringes. 10. Unification is not based solely on economic considerations for hardline Unionists, nationalists or Republicans. It is tied in with their religion, their very identity, their ethos, their nurture. No discussion on economics, democracy, religious liberty or anything else will influence them, and they will see everything through a filter that excludes everything that does not support their views. Please do not add Europe to that list of extreme opinions viewed through a filter. 11. It is the economic advantage of being in the UK that is attractive. In a survey, 17% of Sinn Féin voters admitting that in a referendum they would vote in favour of staying in the UK. So to use the Sinn vote as support for unification is incorrect. 12. The link between the increased economic growth of Northern Ireland since the protocol is a valid one, as the way the protocol has been implemented has forced companies to realign and confine their supply chain to the island of Ireland, which is the reason that nationalist-minded people love it. Unfortunately, this is a very temporary adjustment. When the realignment has been achieved and choice for people of Northern Ireland reduced, the growth will flatten out. 13. It is wrong to assume the current economy of Northern Ireland will have the same dynamic after unification. Companies will gravitate to the capital, which would then be Dublin, to take advantage of the increased investment, transport and supply chain access, so it is more likely that the NI economy will shrink considerably. 14. To try to spin a country's future on its current economic performance, rather than a full, honest democratic debate, is dishonest. Extremely dangerous and undemocratic. Economics are open to interpretation, spin, and vary with time. People need honesty, integrity and objectivity from their politicians when making big decisions, all of which unfortunately are in really short supply. 15. It is an unfortunate fact that the Republic of Ireland's structural violence towards Northern Ireland, declining Protestant population, and flexible interpretation of the Anglo-Irish Agreement, also need a full and honest discussion before there can be a rebuilding of trust. If people's circumstances were going to stay as they are, or God forbid, even improve, in either a united Ireland, a united Europe or a UK reunited with Ireland, it would be a matter of indifference to the majority of people what the country was called. People need an informed choice. To ensure their circumstances are not adversely impacted with any change, they need to be informed of the facts, all of the facts, not drip-fed with information tailored to justify someone else's political agenda, preferences, prejudices or doctrine. Northern Ireland may be the name not to be spoken for some members of the community, or suffer from corrupted infrastructure by shy Republicans infiltrating moderate organizations, political parties and the media, to promote their own agenda, but increasing numbers from both communities are converting to genuinely self-identify as Northern Irish, the most stable form of peace, until the things that separate us are truly history. It is really distressing that Alliance, the one party that could make a difference in Northern Ireland's long-term future, has allowed itself to become part of the problem, with the media totally ignoring this fundamental change to Alliance's founding principles. Hopefully the Alliance members who are sincerely honest about being non-aligned will somehow sort out the problem and get back to representing their founding principles for the people who need and elected them. Unfortunately for the general public who are only interested in improving their quality of life, so dependent on accurate, honest information, politicians and the associated media can confuse the public good with their personal aspirations. This balance often goes wrong, which is okay with politicians as we can vote them out, and often do, but with media we have to depend on their media managers to ensure the accuracy of the information being dispensed is not corrupted by the presenter's own views. Any pre-existing bias the presenter may have, should be relayed openly to the audience. Where you believe there is discrimination in any form, rather than stop watching the program, which will only allow it to continue unabated, make a complaint, checking in from time to time and keep complaining where appropriate to keep highlighting the problem.